Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Dania and today's topic focuses on how to overcome shyness and become a confident speaker. Basically, today's topic is a little bit long because we will be touching upon different tips and tricks that will definitely help you to become a confident speaker. And for that, if you would like to grab your cup of coffee, tea, or maybe some snacks to enjoy while listening to this podcast, all right? So let's start. Well, the first step is to start small. What does that mean, start small? Start small by, for example, speaking with just friends and family. And this can be the first step for you to overcome your shyness. Rather than like going into the public or maybe attending conference, seminars and try to force yourself to speak with them, and in this case you might experience a lot of panics. All right, so that is why it is always recommended to start with simple things. Try saying simple things at first, and after that make it more complicated as you get more comfortable. For example, you could start by saying, "Hi, how are you today?" So this is something small, and after that you can dive into more details by saying, for example, "Hi, how have you been doing? How are things with you? How is life? How is that? How is..." So basically you will be like diving into more details once you get a little bit comfortable. So this is the first point that I would like to highlight, which is start small, because it is really important for you to start small instead of like jumping into the biggest step. All right, so this will be number one. Number two, you need to set realistic goals. What does that mean, realistic goals? Realistic goals are about goals that are possible to be achieved. They are real. Alright, so this is really important for you to set realistic goals, because if you are setting unrealistic goals, in this case it might sound a little bit difficult, and maybe like in the middle of your journey you might get disappointed and not interested to continue. Why? Because of the goals that you have set in the beginning of your journey. So that is why it is always important to make goals that you know you can reach. Really important to know the kind of goals that you can actually reach. Maybe your goal is to talk for a few minutes without stopping. This can be a goal, and this can be really realistic. So when you speak for a few minutes without stopping, that can actually help you to add more minutes in the future. So instead of speaking for 5 minutes, you can add up to maybe 6 minutes, and then 7, and then 8, and so on. So this is the meaning of setting a realistic goal. And then once you set that, you might in the end create a conversation without using your native language to help. So what I'm speaking about in this case, I'm speaking about learning a foreign language. So let's say you need to speak in English, but you have difficulties in communicating with people because of the fears and maybe the doubts that you have within yourself, that you might wonder whether people maybe are comfortable with you, or maybe if they understand what you are saying, things like that. So in this case, what you need to do, it is really important to set realistic goals. So for example, you want to have a conversation with native speakers or maybe with foreigners, alright, who speak English, and so you want to have a conversation with them, and you want to make sure that what you are saying is understood by them and everything is clear. So what you need to do is that you need to set realistic goals. How? Like for example, try watching English movies, maybe watching or maybe listening to English podcast, or maybe like try to join some online language programs where you can improve your English by speaking with native speakers, maybe with tutors who teach the language, or maybe you can join even some speaking platforms where you can simply speak with others. So you really need to train yourself on how to use the language. So this is what you need to do. And once you decide upon this particular goal, do not be too harsh on yourself. Really, like this is really important, not to be too harsh on yourself. What do I mean by that? Learn the language slowly, like using a step-by-step method. If you are focusing on improving your speaking, then give yourself some time. Do not expect yourself to be like a professional language speaker within 2 or 3 months. That is kinda impossible. And because it is impossible, so it can be not realistic dream. So that is why you need to set realistic dreams or realistic goals, goals that are possible to be achieved. If you want to be a language speaker, that means you need to take it step by step without being too harsh on yourself, because you will experience times where you don't want to learn anything. You feel like you are kind of tired of the language, maybe, or maybe you are kind of bored with the practice, and that is totally okay. Seriously, that is totally okay. So that is why I'm telling you not to be too harsh on yourself. You will experience times where you are able to learn quite fast, and there will be times where you are no longer interested in the language. So when you experience the negative part, that's okay. If you feel not in the mood to learn the language or to improve, that's okay. So what you need to do in this case, take a break. What do I mean by taking a break? Example, let's say to improve your language, you decided to watch a movie with English subtitles every day. So in this case, instead of doing this consistently, try to break the routine. Rather than watching a movie with the English subtitle every day, you can watch a movie in your native language. That's okay, because you need a break. However, make sure such a break does not prolong, meaning that such a break should not go for a long time. You can take a break maybe once in a while, just to break the routine. This is what I mean by taking a break. But as I said, you should not take a break. You should not take this particular break for long, because if you take it for a long time, in this case, it will be really difficult for you to get back to your goals. So you need to be really careful with that. I know some people who decided to take a break, and they told me that they will be taking a break just for a short time. However, they did not come back on time. And you know what happened? They actually came back after like 6 or 7 months, and that was kinda difficult for them to get back into the plan. The reason is they lost the track and they lost the interest. Such a situation basically happened because of the break that they took. They took such a long break. So this is what I don't really like. If you need a break, that's okay, but not for too long. A break maybe for just a few days, maybe like 2 to 3 days, that's okay, but not for too long. Because seriously, if you take a break for too long, it will be really difficult for you to get back on track, to get back to your dreams. And in the end, you find yourself like throwing all the dreams out of the window. So really, you really need to be careful in this case, okay? So that is why setting realistic goals is really, really, really important. And every time you succeed in something, like you succeed in achieving one goal, celebrate it, announce it. It's okay to celebrate your goals, no matter how small they could be, because celebrating your goals actually provides you with happiness. Like, you really need to have this kind of sense of happiness. You really need to feel happy after achieving every single step. And that is totally fine, seriously, because celebrating your achievements is really important. All right, so what you can do is that you don't need to go for big celebrations like throwing parties. No, no, no. Like celebrating your achievements by maybe grabbing a cup of coffee at one of your favorite cafes, or maybe having a meal at your favorite restaurant, or maybe going out like for a short trip on the weekend. I mean, something like that. You really need to do something to to celebrate what you are working on, to celebrate your achievement. So this is really important for you to not feel bored, and to not to not break your routine, to not break your goals as well. So really celebrating your goals is really, really important. Point number 3 is step out of your comfort zone. What does that mean? If you are connected to something for a long time and you feel it is no longer helping you, you need to leave it. You need to try something new. You need to challenge yourself by getting out of the box. So this is really important for you. So basically, you need to challenge yourself by doing things that feel a little scary. What does that mean? I will give you an example. Let's say you have doubts about speaking in public. Maybe you have like low self-esteem, or maybe you have lack of confidence when it comes to speaking in public. So what you can do is that to break this particular point is that maybe you can try to speak in a small group. Maybe you can try to speak in front of a small group rather than a big group. So this is one thing. Or start by talking to someone new. Someone new, that means like getting to know new people rather than speaking to the same people over and over. Because the thing is that I have actually met a lot of students who live overseas, like for example foreigners living in the UK, in the US. So the thing is that they do have great opportunity, greater chance to speak in English, but because of the fear that they have inside of them, what they do, they speak to people or mingle with people who speak the same language, and this is totally wrong. If you need to improve your English, or you need to speak to native speakers, you need to get out of the comfort zone. You need to meet people who speak English, not people who speak your mother tongue. So this is what I mean by like getting out of the box or speaking with new people. All right, so this is really important. Let's say you don't have maybe someone to speak with, all right, in your neighborhood, or maybe where you work, things like that. So what you can do, you can join the online language programs where you will have the biggest chance to speak with people from different countries. The thing is that these people basically join such language learning programs for the purpose of improving their English. And so you are improving your English and they are also improving their English. So what does that mean? It means both of you can be potential friends. It's like you can, like, there is a big chance for all of you to speak together, to start communicating, to speak about different things that can actually help you to improve your language way better and and within a short time. So this is what I mean by getting out of your comfort zone. You really need to challenge yourself, experience new things that can help you improve your language faster than possible. All right, so this is one example of how you can get out of the comfort zone. Another thing that you can do, which is is joining a language club. Because the thing is that maybe you might not have the time to sign up for a conversation class, so you can simply join like a language club where you meet with people speaking English. In the club, alright? That can actually help you improve. Doing such an activity might not feel comfortable for you in the beginning, but trust me, it will get easier with time. Really, seriously, like nothing sounds easy from the beginning, but with time, everything will be okay. Everything will be fine in the end. So that is why it's like if you feel if you experience uncomfortable feelings in the beginning, that is totally okay. Nothing to be scared about, nothing to be worried about. That is totally okay, all right? So what you need to do, you need to push yourself to continue. It might be a little bit scary, but that's okay. Really, that's okay. The most important thing for you is to continue, to be consistent. And as I told you in the beginning, if you need a break, that's okay. Take a break, but not for too long. Maybe a break for like 1, 2, 3 days, and then come back to your language goals, come back to achieve your realistic goals and dreams. All right, the most important thing is to not lose interest and to continue going, to continue growing. This is the most important thing. So that is why getting out of the comfort zone is considered to be one of the biggest steps, and one of the biggest steps and really really important step for you to take. And that basically leads us to our next point, which is we need to focus on progress and not perfection. You might be wondering, like, how come? Perfection is really important, and I agree with you. Perfection is important, but not for now. What you need to do for the time being is that you need to continue progressing. You need to continue improving. You need to get out of your comfort zone. This is what you need to do, rather than focusing on perfection, focusing on how to be perfect in speaking the language, or focusing on how to do things in a perfect way. This is not our job for now. Our job is to continue growing, to continue practicing, to continue working on our goals. All right, so if you do mistakes, that's okay, because mistakes are part of the learning progress. So as I said, instead of focusing on the overall picture, focus on getting better bit by bit. And this basically leads us to our first point, which is start small. Start small, as I told you in the beginning of our podcast, is really important. For example, if you are learning to talk about your family, don't worry if you mix up the words sometimes. That's okay. Why? Because you are learning. And this is not just about speaking about family. It can be about anything in life. Alright, it can be about any other topics. So that is totally okay if you find yourself mixing between words or maybe using the structures wrongly. That is totally okay because you are learning. And so, like, making mistakes is part of your language learning journey. So that is really okay to do mistakes. All right, that is like, don't worry at all about that. The most important thing is to continue improving, to continue learning, to continue reaching your goals step by step. All right, you really need to keep practicing, and trust me, if you keep on practicing, you will improve, you will get there. But it might not be within a short time, it might take some time, but that's okay. because we are taking things step by step. And so, as I said, as I told you in the beginning, being consistent is important. If you need a break, that's okay. Take a break for 1 or 2 days and then get back to continue practicing. And that basically leads us to our next point, which is practice regularly. You need to have a regular practice. This is really important, to have a regular practice, to continue practicing and not to stop, because stopping will be really hard for you to get back to where you stopped. So it is really important to continue practicing. Practice speaking every day, even if it is only for a few minutes. Seriously, it's okay. It's okay to practice speaking just for a few minutes. You don't need to practice speaking like 24/7. That's impossible. You will definitely get burned out after some time. So take it step by step. You are focusing on improving your language, your communication level, then take it step by step. Practice for a few minutes every day. Like, you could talk to yourself in the mirror, or maybe chat with a friend who speaks the language, or maybe join any of the online language platforms. Like, if you are looking for any of the online language platforms, you can just Google them. There are plenty of language platforms that can actually help you practice and help you to become more confident. Seriously, nowadays there are plenty of language programs that can help you improve your language skills, become a better speaker, a better writer. Seriously, so what you can do is that if you don't have anyone to speak with, join any of the language programs, or maybe join any of the language clubs in your area. So the most important thing is to continue practicing, alright? So maybe you decide to practice by describing your daily routine every morning. That's okay. This is considered to be a part of the language learning, because when we speak about our daily routine, that will actually help us to know more about other people's daily routine, and also you will learn extra vocabulary once you start speaking with others about their daily routine. I'll give you an example. Let's say you don't have enough vocabulary to speak about daily routine. Maybe you only know a few words, like, for example, getting up, waking up, brush my teeth, maybe going to school, going to work, something like that. And that's okay. When you start speaking with others about what you do, they will definitely help you to learn more. How? Let's say, for example, someone asks you about your daily routine, like, what do you do every morning? You start telling them something like, well, I get up at 7 a.m., brush my teeth, have breakfast, go to work, something like that. And then the other person will ask you further questions, like by saying, oh, so you like to get up at 7 a.m. Why? Then this why, alright, will basically help you to think about the reason that gets you out of bed at 7 a.m. So in this case, when you start thinking about the reason, that will basically help you to think about extra words to explain the reason of getting up at 7 a.m. And then you find yourself thinking about what to ask next. Like, you might be interested to know more about the other person's routine. And when the other person starts speaking about his or her routine, you will be learning new words, because that person will be using extra words that you might not know about. And so in this case, within a simple conversation, you might get to learn more than one word. You might get to learn 2, 3, 4 words or even expressions. So really, this is how you can build up the language. This is how you can continue practicing. So, and this is just one example, by the way. There are different topics that we can speak about. Like instead of speaking about daily routine, you can talk about other topics, but do not jump to the highest level. As I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, you need to take things slowly, step by step. If you are learning the language from from a low level, all right, with maybe talking about daily routine, and after that talk about maybe your weekly routine, and then maybe about hobbies. And so the topics will basically start improving gradually, step by step. And this is how you can continue practicing. And you know what? When you get involved in the speaking practice with others, you find yourself really interested to learn more vocabulary, to learn more words, to learn more expressions. So you might even find yourself interested in maybe searching or Googling for extra ways to express yourself, or maybe for talking about other things using like plenty of vocabs rather than using the same vocabs over and over and over. So this is how you can actually develop your interest and improve your language. So that is why practicing, like having a regular practice, is really, really, really important. And again, if you ever experience maybe some challenges or maybe some difficulties, that's okay. You are learning. Everything is possible. It is like it is totally natural to experience some challenges, to face with obstacles, problems in the language, things like that. That is totally okay. The most important thing is to continue practicing and not to stop. This is really, really, really important. And so that will basically take us to our next step, which is visualizing success. It is really important to know how to visualize success. How is it possible to do that? By imagining yourself doing something. Like, for example, if you want to become a confident English speaker, then you need to imagine yourself speaking confidently in different situations. Meaning that, let's say, for example, you are struggling with speaking, alright, and you feel that speaking in English is really challenging for you, that might not be easy to accomplish or to achieve. So what you can do is that you need to picture yourself, you need to imagine yourself speaking with others in English. Like, let's say you want to order food from the restaurant. So what we need to do is that imagine yourself going into the restaurant, choosing the kind of food that you want to eat, order them, things like that. Or maybe if you want to go to a cafe, imagine or picture yourself going into the cafe, speaking confidently, things like that. So it is really important to picture the success, because if you don't do that, if you keep on reminding yourself of how difficult language is, that will basically keep you where you are without improving, without going forward. And that is really true, by the way. So that is why a lot of people keep on reminding us to picture our destiny, to picture our future. We need to imagine that. If you want to be a perfect language speaker, imagine yourself speaking with others. Look at maybe watch some movies, watch some podcast, watch some dialogues, alright, and imagine yourself being in their situation, being in their position. So for example, if you are watching a movie and you feel like wow, that person is speaking really well in that movie, you need to imagine yourself being in his situation, being in his position. Seriously, just imagine. If not, what you can do is that try to imitate the way they speak. And this actually works a lot, seriously. So it's like, if you want to improve your accent, what you can do is that watch a movie or maybe watch series where the actors and actresses like speak the accent, speak your favorite accent, all right? And then try to imitate the way they speak. Seriously, just imitate it. With time, you will be able to speak like them, to speak exactly like them, to sound like them. So, this is a really good practice for you if you want to improve your accent. This is one way. Another way, if you want to improve, let's say, your writing, all right, read a lot. Read storybooks, maybe read newspapers, read online articles, things like that. The more you read, the perfect you will be in writing after some time. And try to apply what you read. Like in this case, when you read something, try to write it down, try to write a summary of what you read. That will actually help you to use the vocabulary that you learn on that text. So seriously, this is how you can improve, you can visualize, and the most important thing is to have a positive mindset. I know it is not always easy to be positive, as there are times where we feel totally tired, totally not in the mood, not interested to continue, as I spoke about this point in the previous like previously in the beginning of the podcast. And as I said, it's okay. It's okay if you feel bored. It's okay if you are not really interested. That is totally fine. So what you need to do, take a break for 1 or 2 days and then come back. So the most important thing is to come back and continue practicing, continue visualizing, continue picturing your final image. Like if you want to be like a confident language speaker, picture that. Like maybe paste like choose maybe a picture from Pinterest where people are speaking confidently, and then like post it like on your maybe on your vision board, so that you can continue looking at this picture over and over, because the more you look at these pictures, the closer you will feel to your language goals. So seriously, you can try it, because I have actually been trying that quite a lot, and it really works. And that will basically lead us to another point, which is called positive affirmations. Positive affirmations, like what are positive affirmations and how to use them in achieving our targets and becoming language speakers, or becoming confident in speaking, or becoming everything you would like to achieve. So what you need to do is that you need to continue telling yourself positive things about your language skills, because as I told you, we are focusing on speaking confidently, and that is why you might find all the examples connected to language skills. So in this case, you need to tell yourself positive things about your language skills. How can you tell yourself positive things? Like, for example, remind yourself that you are improving every day. This is really important for you to do. You really need to remind yourself on that. Really important. Why? Because there are times where you feel disappointed, not in the mood to do anything, not in the mood to improve, not in the mood to to continue learning. So, and that is totally fine, because every person goes through that. Every person goes through such obstacles in life where we feel not really interested in doing what we have to do. So in this case, what you need to do is that you need to keep on reminding yourself of how powerful you are, how amazing you are. You need to remember all the steps that you have gone through to achieve where you are right now. So this is really important. So I will give you an example, like a personal example. Like for me, I always go through this particular um, like um, like ups and downs in life, where I feel that I am not achieving anything in specific, and that really breaks my heart a lot, because there are times where I feel really disappointed with what I'm doing, not happy with what I have achieved, and I feel that everyone is doing something but not me. I know this can be really like heartbreaking, but it happens to me a lot, and I think it happens to every person. So what I usually do, I will take some time to maybe to sit back. Like maybe I will take a day or 2 days off, just to be off, and then try to watch some YouTube videos, or maybe try to watch movies that speak about maybe girls who go through some obstacles in life, and how they manage to overcome them, how they manage to to stand up once again. So these kind of movies actually help me a lot. Also, speaking with others, like for me, I would always speak to my family, speak to friends, but by the way, not all the friends. You need to be very careful. You need to choose the friends that you can speak freely with, because there are actually a lot of friends who don't really want you to achieve what your targets, or maybe these kind of friends are not really on the same page with you. Like maybe they can be really good, but at the same time they might not be the perfect supporters for you. And if you want me to speak about friendship, let me know in the comments, so we can talk about it in any of the upcoming podcasts. All right. So yeah, so basically when it comes to speaking to friends about the struggles that you are facing, you need to be really selective. And because of that, I started choosing the kind of friends that I need to speak with. I will only choose friends who are doing something similar to what I'm doing. So in this case, they know the kind of struggles I experience, or maybe the obstacles I experience, and so I can actually benefit from them. I can get some some motivational thoughts from them. So this is how we can go on with things. All right, this is how we can go through all the struggles that we face when it comes to life in general. All right, so back to the same idea. Remind yourself of how amazing you are. So this is really important to do that, because with that you will be able to get back on track. You might get disappointed for some time, but then it will be easy for you to get back on track and continue improving. So that is why it is really, really important. So you could, for example, be saying things like, I'm getting better at speaking English, or I'm proud of how much I have learned. Things like that. So it is really important to say good things to your own self, because you really need to do that. You really need to support yourself. So that is why it is always important to to say good things to yourself. All right. And that basically can lead us to seeking support and feedback. So how is it basically possible to seek support and feedback? What we need to do is that we can actually seek support from tutors. Like if you are learning the language, right, we can seek support and feedback from tutors, or we can basically seek support from friends. But as I told you in the beginning, not all the friends. You need to pick particular friends who you feel are really big supporters, or even family members. So this basically, so this is how you can, so basically these people, like when it comes to like seeking help or support from tutors, from family members, from friends, they can actually give you advice and tell you what you are doing well and what you are not doing well, really. So that is why I stressed on the importance of choosing the friends who can really support you well, because not all friends can give you the advice that they can give you an actual advice. They might give you advice just to satisfy your interest, or maybe they can give you the advice that you want to hear from, but not the actual advice. Alright, so when it comes to teachers or maybe tutors, they can basically listen to the way you speak, and they can even give you tips on how to improve better and how to become a confident language speaker and things like that. And then, so this point basically lead us to embracing mistakes. Embracing mistakes, that means we should not get worried about making mistakes. Making mistakes is an important part of life, it's an important part of our learning process. So we should not be afraid to make mistakes, because everyone makes them when they are learning something new. Seriously, everyone makes mistakes, and there is no one in life who never makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. So that is why it is okay to make mistakes, and we just need to embrace them. We need to learn from them so we will not repeat them later on. Alright, so instead of feeling bad about making mistakes, we should think of them as an opportunity to learn, as an opportunity to grow and to continue growing. So if you happen to say something wrong, that's okay. Just correct yourself and keep going. There is nothing to be embarrassed about, nothing to be worried about. It's a mistake. Everyone makes them, so that's okay. Just correct yourself, keep going, and try not to repeat them once again. And if you happen to be repeating them once again, that is totally fine. You just need to keep on practicing. So if you follow all the steps that I have just explained and shared with you in today's long video, trust me, you will get there. If you are not there, you will definitely get there. You just need to follow all the steps that I have just shared with you. Like if you have any questions regarding any of the points that I have just explained, all you need to do, write your questions in the comment section and I will respond to it, or else I will even create another video to answer your question. Alright, so in this case I really hope you managed to get every point I explained in this video. If you have thoughts you would like to share with me, or you have other ideas, other topics that you want me to speak about on this channel, all you need to do, just write them down in the comment section and I will definitely create videos on each of the listed topics. Alright, seriously, because I'm here to help you improve your language, to help you improve your speaking skills, your writing, everything. And if there is anything I can do for you, let me know. Alright, so in this case I really hope you enjoyed listening to today's podcast. And again, any questions, just let me know. So by then thank you so much for being here. I wish you a happy day. I will be looking forward to having you on the upcoming video. So again, have a great time and take care. Bye bye.